Moving on. Next question here is from Matthias Machado. Do you think that if Ollie is hired, our pick will be Hussar Thompson? Wes and I were just talking about this, so
We were.
I'll let Wes go first.
Yeah, we're literally just talking about this in the pre-show. No, I don't think hiring Kevin Ollie is going to impact whether or not they're taking a Thompson twin at all. And I think that because one, Ollie actually left the OTE, right? Like he didn't spend the full year there. And then two, the Pistons have without a doubt already interviewed the actual coaches at OTE. So there's no new intel that Ollie's going to bring to this conversation. Um, so whether or not they do end up taking a Thompson twin, I don't think it's going to have any impact or be impacted by hiring Kevin Ollie. Like I think they'd just be taking them on their own merit from whatever intel they've already gotten, and they know probably today in May, a month before the draft.
Absolutely. I don't even think I need to add anything. I think Weaver as well clearly has a great relationship with Kevin Ollie. I think regardless if he was being hired for the search or not, he would give, like, the intel's just there. These teams, like, clearly well connected, the scouting department, everyone, there would be nothing that I would be very surprised if there's stuff Kevin Ollie knows that, yeah, the rest of the OTA staff and people around the league don't know.
I mean, like honestly, he could probably only hurt the Twins, right? Like if you've only heard positive information coming from OTE, and then you hire Kevin Ollie, and Kevin Ollie goes, "Those guys were terrible to coach, and I hated the whole time there. That's why I left." Like then you probably don't pick the Thompson Twins. But if he comes and talks about how great his experience is, then like you're not adding anything either. So I feel like he could actually, in a weird way, only hurt the situation, not really help it. So I don't
Yeah,
think the positive outcome is what you get there if he does
definitely.
impact the situation.
And I still think for a lot of fans, it's a very valid question to ask because I can see the
For sure.
ties and where Matthias is coming from. And I mean, I just think that stuff gets a touch overblown. I think, yeah, these NBA teams have plenty of intel going into the draft. Next question from Chris. Every year, great playoff role players get paid in free agency. Which role player would you want to pay most, and which one would you be most fearful to pay? I'm
All
going
right.
to put a
I got
list.
two. You look them
Okay.
up. Yeah, I got two. I would want to pay Grant Williams. I really like Grant Williams. I don't think he'd be ridiculously expensive. I think he's probably somewhere in that 15 range. Good shooter, high IQ team defender. I like I like the idea of paying Grant Williams and getting him in Detroit and just telling him to do the exact same thing he did in Boston with a little bit more minutes. The guy I'd be a little fearful to play, um, or to pay. I don't know if he really counts as a role player. I don't really like the idea of Chris Middleton. He's just so injury prone. I'd just be a little nervous about it. Like if you sign Chris Middleton, you're getting 20 games of him, and then that's the end of it. He seems like he's winding down, despite that he's not actually all that old. So those would be my two picks.
For sure. I think the role player that's going to get paid this offseason is a former Piston who's playing for the Denver Nuggets, Bruce Brown. I think he's
I
going to
thought you were
get
going to say Reggie Jackson.
or KCP or Ish Smith. They're all on the team. I don't know if they're all free agents though,
Of
but
course.
um, I think Bruce Brown has really. I mean, if you obviously as Pistons fans, we know. I would assume most of us have tracked Bruce Brown's career from when he went to Brooklyn and how he sort of evolved into this 0.5 man almost that would screen and roll and just kill teams with his floater. So now he's evolved as a corner shooter, corner 3-point shooter, and he's really thriving alongside Nikola Jokic just as a cutter. And he's just the ultimate connecting like guard, I would say. Does a bit of everything. I think he's really going to get paid this summer. Um, And which one would I be most fearful to pay? Max Strus? And that's not because I
What
think
about
he's a
Cam
bad player. I
Johnson?
just think he's. Oh, Cam, that's a great question.
Because he's
I
going to
do
get
think
paid.
Cam has. Yeah, I think he's become. Oh, just to add another guy who's going to get paid, Austin Reeves. I think that goes without saying.
Yes,
He's
he's
he
going
was
to
going to
get.
probably get paid
Yeah,
regardless before the playoffs. Then to finish the playoffs with 4 20-point games, he looked like the Lakers' best sort of dribble drive threat in the half court. LeBron's still like a beast in transition, but in the half court, like I'm telling you, Austin Reeves pick and roll, Austin Reeves just like attacking the rim, like he's shifty, like he's a really fun player. Like he's going to get paid. But Cam Johnson, I think he has become slightly overrated because he's the only wing. Well, he's everyone's sort of favorite wing. He can shoot, and I'm sorry, guys, just had some technical issues there. Yeah, I wouldn't want to pay Cam any more than like 22 million. Like when I start
I
seeing
mean more than
25
that.
million, yeah, that scares me. And like I don't want to be the Pistons fan. We're a 17-win team saying no to all these free agents, but Cam Johnson at 25 million or more, I don't know. That's a lot. What are your thoughts, Wes?
Not pass too. I think that's way too much for pretty much just a really good 3-point shooter. Like I know he's actually a decent defender too, but when at least the way that the cap's all right now, I know it's going to go up in the future, but right now, $25 million is like a really good and impactful player. And Cam Johnson is a great 3-and-D player, but he's not $25 million in my book. So I would not. I would be a little bit afraid to pay that. Similar to like I wouldn't want to be paying Kuzma big money. Like I think these are all examples of Tobias Harris in Philadelphia, right? Where like really good player, worth the payday that he's going to get, right? Like they've earned it. They're really good players, but I don't want to be the one to pay it. Someone
I
else
think
should.
Yeah, I think if Detroit and like Kuzma's another great guy to bring up. I think if Detroit did have like that 28 to 32 win season, I might be a bit different. But I think this team, due to injury and they just sort of maybe have slipped back a season. And I think this next season will still be development. I mean, Trey Weaver signed an extension, so I don't think he's getting fired unless this team wins 17 games again, which we all hope doesn't happen. But I still think I guess the rookie extensions really start to come into play next summer with Cade and that sort of thing. So, I mean, this is why it's tough being a GM. Look at me, I'm just sitting here trying to spitball and I'm struggling. But, yeah, 25 million for Cam, I'm out.